Okay, I'm going to try to catch on things that I promised you and haven't gotten to. So, first on that list is the animated Spider-Man series people asked me about months ago. I'm glad you liked it. First of all, why did it take so long? I have a life. I have other hobbies. I have friends, I think. I'm pretty sure I have friends. But I have other things to do. Again, bandwidth, there are lots of things to do and read and the friends I talked about. But most of all, I hate Lonnie. I hate him so much. Oh my God. For those of you who haven't seen the series, Lonnie is a character on the series who is the star quarterback and becomes a friend of Peter Parker. And OGs will know Lonnie is also Tombstone, the villain Tombstone. Yeah. And at all and times through the series, literally like half the episode will be about Lonnie. So half the show is about the origin of a Z-list Spider-Man villain. What the I guarantee you, no one in the history of humanity ever wanted to see the origin of Tombstone realized. Ever. No one cares about this freaking character except maybe Jerry Conway, who created him, and because that means he gets paid, and he deserves to get paid for all that he's done, just not for this thing. I mean, what next? The secret origin of the Rose? That would have been somewhat interesting if they put, a teenage Rose in school with Peter Parker. For those of you who don't know, the Rose was actually the son of Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin. See, that would have been interesting. That tie would have been interesting. He's a teenager. His dad is a big crime boss. That's interesting. Lonnie is not interesting. He's a quarterback who does something really dumb. Oh, my brother's in your gang. Will you let him go? I'll be in the gang. This is why you're a quarterback. You're an idiot. Nobody cares. Absolutely no one cares about this. And it just goes on forever. It was only when I decided, whenever he shows up, I'm going to fast forward it. This is all that got me through it. Because no, absolutely not Lonnie. Oh my God. I mean, in a show that has Dr. Connors, Harry Osborn, and Norman Osborn, what exactly is Lonnie's plotline adding to this? This is four people who are going to become Spider-Man villains now. And, Harry is the friend who goes bad and becomes a villain. Exactly why do you need this twice with Lonnie? You do not need this. This makes no sense. And it is, oh my God. I cannot put into words how stupid this was, and what a drag on the show it was, and how unnecessary it was. Because I like a lot about it. I love Peter; his character's done well. I love the entire look of the show; that was great. I love the Doctor Octopus subplot; that was great. More of that. They should have jettisoned Lonnie and made the subplot Doctor Octopus. Just so many good things are going on here, and then Lonnie is just an albatross around the neck of this show. Not to mention, you have a character whose entire existence is predicated on his guilt over something he couldn't control. You cannot pretend that you were given a crap about character if you're not going to examine what's going to happen to him when not one, not two, not three, but four people in his circle go bad and he couldn't stop it. He couldn't save any of them. Well, he will kind of save Dr. Connors, helping to find a cure for the lizard, but at best it should have been two, Harry and Norman. That's it. This is ridiculous. It is reductive, and whoever thought of it should be fired. Now, I don't mind there was none of the traditional cast for Peter in high school. There's no Liz Allen. There's no Flash Thompson. He's not working the Daily Bugle. There's no Betty Brant. So, of course, there's no J. Jonah Jameson. They wanted to create their own kind of show, and I get that. That's fine. But then why would you set it in an MCU adjacent universe? Because this is taking place after Civil War. There are references made to Steve Rogers being on the run and the Sokovia Accords. Iron Man shows up at one point. At one point, Harry Osborn is talking to uh, General Ross. And it's just like, why? Because this is clearly not the Peter Parker from those movies. So why would you do this aside from, having, a gratuitous cameo, like I said, of Iron Man? Speaking of cameos, we're going to get to the thing that really, really sealed my dislike of this show. In the very first episode, we get Spider-Man's origin. It's new. It's Dr. Octopus fighting some sort of creature from another dimension. And out of that dimension comes a spider that bites Peter. And I'm thinking, oh God, this is going to be the damn spider totem. But no, it's so much worse. Now, in the show, Peter's an intern at Norman Osborn's company. He's gathered all the teen geniuses from around the city. One is from Wakanda, another is Amadeus Cho, and he's got them there working with him. And almost immediately he finds out that Peter is Spider-Man, but he wants to help him be a better Spider-Man, making suits for him and everything. Basically, he's fulfilling the Tony Stark role in this. Anyway, at one point, he faces off with the Scorpion, who gets his tech from Dr. Octopus. Again, that's the interesting thing. All these villains are getting their tech from Doc Ock, the Unicorn, the Chameleon, and of course, the Scorpion. Much more interesting than Lonnie. So Peter faces off against Scorpion and he loses. He's beaten badly. And during the course of helping him, Norman Osborn, of course, gets to sample his blood. He wants to recreate it, make more Spider-Man, obviously for military contracts. We know this because we see him talking with General Ross earlier, and he's talking about how Spider-Man is his operative and he's going to register him for the Accord so everything will be okay. He's looking forward to more military contracts. So anyway, so he's trying to recreate Spider-Man. And he's also using the kids to build a wormhole generator. And they build that, and they're going to open it up. And this is when Doctor Strange returns again and says, do not open this. You don't know what you're getting into. And Norman goes off on him and says, what do you tell us what to do? You cause all this wreckage at Midtown High at the beginning. This is when Doctor Strange says, no, I was never there. I think you know what's coming. You geeks who are fans of genre fiction, you know what's coming. So, of course, Norman Osborn ignores him, opens the wormhole generator, and this is when the symbiote monster comes through. You know how I feel about symbiotes. And this is when I realized that the monster that Doctor Strange fought in the first episode was a symbiote monster. Again, you genre fans know where this is going. So the symbiote monster comes through, starts wrecking everything, and in the course of the wreckage, the spider that Norman has engineered gets out. And part of me thinks, wait, Miles, this soon? No. Remember, same symbiote monster the first episode. Doctor Strange doesn't remember says he wasn't ever there. You know what's going to happen. Yes. Doctor Strange opens a portal to fight the symbiote monster. It's a time portal. That's why he doesn't remember, because it hasn't happened yet. And the spider that goes through the portal and bites Peter is the same spider that Norman Osborn created. It's a time paradox. I hate a time paradox. Now, again, when you're a genre geek, you can see these tropes coming. When I was watching Interstellar and the kid was saying she was hearing ghosts in the house, I knew it was Matthew McConaughey from the future. That's not why that movie sucked, because it used the trope. When I was watching 12 Monkeys and Bruce Willis was talking about, and when Bruce Willis had like these flashes of someone being killed, I knew he was seeing his own death. That's not why that movie sucked. Yes, I hate that one too. It's not the use of a trope, it's how the trope is used, or why the trope is used. What does this add to Spider-Man? What? What does it add to the character? What does it add to the mythos? It adds absolutely nothing. You know why this exists? Because someone thought they were very clever and they are not. You know, these people are like, yeah, you didn't see that coming, did you? Woo, see what I did? Yeah, look at me, man. Idiots. They must have maxed out their medical coverage, breaking their arms because they were patting themselves on the back so hard with this crap. This is so stupid. It adds nothing. It detracts from it. It is just the most stupid, worthless thing I can think of. This is pissing me off more than the symbiote. The only way this imbecilic fever dream could ever be redeemed is if they later show a consequence of this. Because at one point, because later when Peter and Dr. Strange are talking, Dr. Strange is like concerned. He's like, I should not have been there. That should not have happened. Saying there may be consequences. Great. Show consequences. We know Peter was meant to become Spider-Man. If not, then show consequences for him becoming Spider-Man out of the ordinary, out of the traditional way. Show that there's a consequence for this happening. I'm thinking of Christopher Claremont. He did a story where a sorcerer who had a grudge against Spider-Man comes back in the X-Men and takes over the island. They manage to undo it, but they have to reverse time to do it. And this causes one of the super sentinels from the future to come into the present. There's a consequence for this. It's better than what happened, but there's still something going to happen when you mess with time like this. Have it be, something like that Silk doesn't come into existence. I don't care about Silk. I'm amazed Silk has not shown up in the MCU or those bad Sony films. But maybe that's it. Something happens as a result of Peter becoming Spider-Man in a way that he shouldn't have. It always drove me crazy on the Flash TV series that they never really dealt with the fact that the entire series took place in a post-Dawn timeline. Thawne changed the timeline to make Barry become the Flash sooner than he should have. And while they knew this, there was like he never seemed to care. Barry never seemed to wonder what his life was like because before he had both his parents, had a happy life, and still became the Flash. Thawne took that away. He never seemed to want it. Yes, there was an episode where he tried to save his mom and see what happened after that, but it cost him his friends. And he says, "Well, I can't do that," and he had to put it back. But still, none of the other characters ever seemed to care. He didn't even seem to wonder about what happened in the previous timeline, and it just drove me crazy how they never really got into that. And so here, so deal with it. That's the only way you can save this. Otherwise, it's just some community college graduate who thinks he went to Harvard. That's what this feels like. It's just so dumb. It's such, oh, I hate a time paradox, especially from someone stupid without imagination. Seriously, they thought they were clever with this thing that they've been up to for 10 episodes. They were not. They're dumb and they need to go work for their dad's insurance company. So yeah, both the time paradox and the symbiote being in the same episode, the final episode of the first season, sealed the deal for me. If you liked it, great. Go with Zeus. The second season's coming out this year. You can all go have fun, but you will not see me there. Unless, of course, Captain America shows up. They mentioned him numerous times in the series, but that's the only thing that will ever get me back. Because, no, none of this is, there's not enough good to outweigh the bad. So much bad decision making. I'm only expecting more bad decision making to outweigh anything good. Because Lonnie does become Tombstone. Yeah, I forgot to mention, he officially becomes Tombstone. One of Doc Ock's creations, some gas gets on him. He gets super strength, becomes impervious, and you see his skin begin to change. No one cares. No one cares. And the Jeff Johns ending didn't help at all. And by that I mean it doesn't end. There are at least, I'm not kidding, 5 different epilogues to set up various storylines. Here's the thing. If you're actually talented, if you're not an idiot, all those storylines are already set up. We saw Doc Ock's mechanical tentacles before when, the cops come in to raid his place. We did not need him in a cell showing him drawing of the tentacles on the wall. The foreshadowing was there, unless you're an idiot. And there are at least 4 more. And it's just like, I get it. We get it. You're dumb. And you think other people are as dumb as you are, so you need to do that. So yeah. The show was not for me.